You tell a story. He does too. Can he one up you? Well, that's up to you. Tell your best tale, and you never know. You could be a winner on the One Upper Show.
Okay, and welcome back to the One Upper Show. I'm your host, Ted Blazak, and we're coming to you from a farmer's market in Coeur d'Alene. And we've got another great guest who's volunteered to come on to our show. And what's your name, sir?
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Rabbi Doctor. It's about Itzhak Shapira.
Zach Shapiro?
Itzhak.
Isaac.
Yeah.
Isaac.
Is-
But
Shapira.
Isaac is kind of an
Yeah.
Americanized way.
Exactly.
So do a lot of people call you Isaac?
Yeah, Isaac is the Hebrew of Itzhak, and there are not too many Israelis here. So I saw you and said, "Hey,
Yeah.
that's great to be here."
Yeah. So should people be calling you though Rabbi Isaac or
It's almost interesting what comes first, the rabbi or the doctor. So actually, to be technically, the rabbi come before the doctor.
so you're Rabbi Dr. Isaac.
Yeah, because
That's good. That's a
because the
good one.
rabbi have to do with people, doctor have to do with books.
Yeah.
What's more important, people or books?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good point. So Isaac, I hear you got a good story. I'm sure you have a good story. Lay it on us.
It's interesting. I have so many good stories. I'll just stick with one today. I had the opportunity to visit to 65 different countries worldwide.
Wow, really?
So, when you go around the world, you run into some very
Yeah.
unique situations.
Yeah.
I want to share with you a story that happened to me actually.
But so you've been to 65 countries
65 different countries.
and this is in religious service and
So,
educational or
look, I was brought up in Israel in Tel Aviv area.
yeah.
When you're living in a country like Israel, everybody around you is Jewish, so
Yeah.
you don't know anything else. But
Right.
when you go outside Israel, you meet a lot of Christian,
Yeah.
Gentiles, Muslim, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I really devoted my life specifically with Christians
Uh-huh.
on trying to reconcile. Hey, you're on this side of the fence.
Yeah.
Jesus, we're on this side of the fence. We have Moses.
Yeah.
Become a happy family, sort of speaking,
Sure.
and reconcile and having a dialogue. So what much of the things I do, if it is in the Vatican
Yeah.
or it is in South America, Europe,
Yeah.
or even the Middle East, believe
Yeah.
it or not, uh, I think it's a time that we all have to have not just tolerance, but ability to dialogue with one another and see beyond the mask of religion.
I see. I
So
see. So is there like a nonprofit?
yes,
Oh, I
yes.
see.
Yes,
Eh,
so the name of our prophet is Ahavat Ami, which means in Hebrew for the love of my people.
I love
Some
it.
of the things that we are dealing with, unfortunately, is anti-Semitism,
Yes.
things that are brewing all over the world that are not good.
Yes.
We're education, so we go and educate.
Excellent.
The
Wonderful.
story today is actually going to educate
Oh,
in,
good.
in a very, very interesting place.
Okay.
It's in a place that Israelis cannot go to.
Oh.
So there are certain countries that as Israeli I cannot get into.
Oh.
One of them, mostly Muslim countries.
Right. Yeah.
So I have an Israeli citizenship. I was born and raised there, but I have also an American citizenship. I
Uh-huh.
hold dual citizenship. Now, the interesting thing, if everybody look at their passports, they will notice something interesting about everybody's passport. It's have a place, it's very small, that even if you're an American citizen, it says country of birth, country of birth.
Oh, I
So
see.
my country of birth says this.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So there was an event that I was invited to in Malaysia.
Malaysia.
Is a very strong Muslim country that Israelis cannot go to.
I,
It's absolutely illegal to go to.
you know what? I had no idea
Yeah.
that there's Muslim countries that just literally ban citizens from Israel from even entering their port. Now, does Israel have that? Do you not allow
No.
Saudi Arabians in, or?
Well, unfortunately, it's worked both ways.
Oh, I see. All right, all right.
It's a
So,
two-way street. You know?
okay, okay.
And we certainly hope that in the days and the years to come, there will be a universal peace.
Yes,
We'll
yes,
travel freely to wherever we want to.
yes.
But I made a mistake. I make a tactical mistake because I flew from the United States.
Yeah.
And then as I flew from the United States, as he said, we have 20 minutes to landing. I'm looking at my passport, and it says country of birth, Israel.
And you never noticed this until you're.
Don't notice that because I said I'm coming with the American passport.
Sure, sure. Yeah. So you missed that
And,
detail.
you know, we knew that, look, I cannot be dressed as a rabbi.
Right, right.
So my sweet wife dressed me as an American cowboy. So I came as an American cowboy. No yarmulke. Jewish, no
Right.
star.
Right.
Jeans.
Yeah.
Cowboy.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and
Yeah.
a cowboy hat.
All right.
to
All
come.
right.
So I said, well, I can't just come in disguise.
Yeah.
I'm going to come in,
Yeah.
do my thing, and
Yeah.
just get out.
Yeah.
But that's when the program started to get a little dicey.
Uh-huh.
Because I looked at the passport
Yeah.
after 18 hours, and it said country of Israel, which means that you will immediately, more than likely, be thrown into jail.
Oh my goodness.
Are you talking about that?
Oh,
will
you must
go
have been
and-
so scared.
What am I going to do?
I-
So I get off the plane.
Wow. I don't even know if I would get off the plane. I would
Well, what do you do? What do you
wait for
do?
it to go wherever it's going back
Yeah.
to.
The new revelation came to me 20 minutes
Yeah.
early. But
Yeah.
I do want to encourage everybody because, you know, that when you try to do good in the world
Yeah.
and you try to change the world and
Yeah.
impact the world in
Yeah.
such a positive way,
Yeah.
there is a God, and I do believe
Oh.
that is going to do miracles for you. And
Oh.
that's something I want to say to everybody.
Oh, wonderful.
I-
Wonderful.
I- miracle, but a miracle with a sense of humor.
Yeah.
know,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. God
everybody
has a
need to
great sense of
understand
humor.
God have a sense of
Yeah,
humor.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
want to tell you
yeah,
about God's sense of humor today.
yeah.
So I went to the line. There were 5 lines,
Uh-huh.
and each line, you know, they had their very, very long beards.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
one guy looked just like Osama bin Laden.
Yeah.
You know, he looked like Osama. So I said, I'm not going to go to deep.
Yeah,
line.
yeah, that's
I
the
put my
wrong
baseball
line.
cap and went kind of like that.
Yeah.
The lady lane. I said,
Uh-huh.
that lady maybe not going to watch.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, what I'm going to be doing.
That's,
The
I
lady
guess.
lane, you know, it's progressing. I'm sweating.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
can
yeah,
feel
yeah,
the
yeah.
sweat
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah,
I feel like inside
Yeah.
sweating. Like, what's going to happen? 50
Yeah.
50, I'm coming out of this.
yeah, yeah.
As the lady was about to call me, they get me out of the line.
No way.
They're getting me out of the line, and they said to me, "Go to Osama line."
Really?
They sent me to the Osama bin Laden line.
Oh, because they were
Yeah,
just happened to be
because
closing that
somebody
lane down.
decided- I don't know what
Oh.
was. I said, "This is not good."
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
of course, I look like a Texas cowboy
yeah.
at this
Yeah,
point.
that's good.
And I come to Osama, and
Yeah.
I ended in my passport.
Right, yeah, yeah.
And he opened the passport and
Yeah.
he started to look at all the stamps.
Oh,
And the very first stamp
yeah,
on my American passport
yeah.
is Israel.
Oh, that gets his attention.
That's right there. You're flying
Oh.
to jail.
Yeah.
And then I hear a voice from the heaven.
Yeah,
And here's what the voice said. You know, God is very funny the way he talks.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
he said, "Do something, dummy."
Ah,
That is the voice I heard from the
Oh.
heaven. Do something, dummy. Say something.
yeah.
You know, God speak like that.
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, 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 yeah.
The only thing that could come out of my mouth to
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
is, "Do you know?" I'm talking to the Osama.
Osama.
I
Yeah.
said to Osama, "Do you know the show Dallas? And you remember the show from the 1980
What?
Dallas? Do you remember the show?
Yeah,
Dallas?
everyone knows Dallas. Yeah.
Do you remember JR?
Of course,
Oh,
I remember
everybody
JR.
knows
So,
JR.
all right, yeah.
So I say, do you know the
Yeah.
show Dallas? Because it's
Yeah.
it says Dallas, Texas.
You're right, yeah,
So the only
yeah.
thing,
Hey,
do you know the show
yeah,
Dallas?
yeah, yeah,
And he
yeah,
comes to me and he says, J.I. J.I. And he's smiling and
yeah.
laughing. As he does that,
Yeah,
he flipped the page.
yeah,
He
yeah,
flipped the page
yeah.
and he missed the stamp of
Oh,
Israel
oh,
and
good.
he misses the birthplace of
Oh, now
Israel
he's fast tracking
and
you.
he
Yeah.
just let me into the country
That's
completely untouched.
that. Wow.
That is a shocker.
Yes.
But there is a little bit more shocking part to
What?
this story.
Okay.
I was invited to an underground place to give a presentation about Israel.
So, so you're in Malaysia,
I'm in
and
Malaysia.
you can't have a public meeting about Israel
No,
or
no, it's
Judaism
illegal. It's
or
illegal.
religious reconciliation.
Yeah,
So you had to do it.
exactly.
So you're
It's underground. We're hundreds and hundreds of the place is full, and I speak about this. Well, guess who was in the crowd?
no, not Osama.
No, Osama cousin was in the.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, and he went to report to the authorities that there is an Israeli there
Oh,
to
was this
come to arrest me.
was this was an undercover agent?
Undercover
Oh
agent.
my
I
God.
am telling you, it's like an
Wow.
espionage.
It is. It
Yeah,
is.
the
You're a
story is
very
getting.
brave
Yeah.
man.
Well, I don't know, but I just use a Scott's sense of humor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they are coming to arrest me.
Wow.
And as they coming to arrest me, I was just boarding the plane
Oh, to
out
leave.
of the country.
Oh,
And
wow.
then arresting the person who invited me, but did not arrest me.
Oh, so you got out.
I got out right in the time, right.
What happened to the poor man who got
I
arrested?
don't know. I never
Oh
knew what happened
no.
to
Oh
this.
no.
I am telling you this story today because everybody need to understand that sometimes we see things miraculous, things that happen to us
Yeah.
visible way.
Yeah.
But sometimes they're invisible,
Yeah.
invisible way. But everybody should be encouraged. When you do, there is Hebrew expression.
Yeah.
One who does good deed will
Yeah.
not be harmed.
Oh, that's
And this is a good way to live your life.
well.
One who does a mitzvah,
Yeah.
that's a word in
A good deed.
good
Yeah.
deed,
Yeah.
will not be harmed.
Yeah.
So this is, I think, the motto that we all need to live our life on. Do good to your neighbors, love your neighbors, try
Yeah.
to fix the world. And as you do those things, there will be a force, a power. I believe
Yeah.
it is God that will be before you and will even do miracles
Yeah.
of that type of magnitude for you.
Oh, it's
Then you have
beautiful.
to kick you in the tuchus.
Right. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So that's a little
That-
bit of a story.
that's
of
a
many, many stories.
That's a good story. Huh. So, wow. Okay, so now. Usually, this is a beautiful story, and I'm so glad you shared it. And it's great for us to have on our show. And usually, this show's lighthearted, and this is a moment where I try to one up you. But I never have I had in my experience the type of experience you had, the bravery to go on these missions and to I'm just in awe of your courage. But let me ask you, because this is probably the only kind of point where I might be able to
Yeah,
connect
yeah.
stories to. So when you heard God, when you were standing in line, okay, was it? You're sure it wasn't like your subconscious telling you what to do? It felt like it was someone was talking to you. You weren't talking to yourself, right?
I can tell you this.
Yeah.
That sometimes the voice of God
Yeah.
is and the Lord said.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was a
Yeah.
very simple voice. And if you want to believe it's your conscience,
Yeah.
you have to understand something.
Yeah.
There is voice and conscience in every human being, I
Yeah.
believe, regardless of religion, and
Yeah.
regardless
Yeah.
of what you believe. The
Yeah.
conscience is inside of you. So even if it was my voice,
Yeah.
it was the conscience that the one who created me who
Yeah.
was speaking to me. And now I'm fine with that.
Yeah. 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 So, okay. So here's my story, and it kind of connects. I was a political consultant for years
Okay.
in Portland, Oregon. I had a very successful company. I started it as a taxi driver
Okay.
in a basement of my apartment. And in 12 years, starting from zero, in 12 years, I captured about 25% of the national market. And for me, the only thing money was about was time. And I had a kid entering sixth grade and a kid entering fourth grade, and I had a careful budget, and I said, "That's it. We've made enough money. We can go retire. I just want to spend time with my kids." And
Sure.
so we moved to this small town called Tico, Washington, here in on the border of Idaho and eastern Washington. And we got a big, beautiful house, and I'm sitting in my office, and I have a restless spirit and a lot of energy. So I started. It's a very small town. It's only 750 people, and I started volunteering and doing a bunch of stuff in the town. Volunteered at the. I became the high school librarian. I was on the ambulance board. I became a city councilor. I'm just fundraising for this, fundraising for that. And anyway, I've been doing this for about a year, and most of the projects are dying down. And then there's this one project left, and it's a trail. There's this trail that goes all the way from Seattle to the Idaho border, and it ends in my small town of Tika. And this and this it used to be a railroad, and our town's population used to be about 2,800. But in the mid 70s, when the railroad went out of business, the population has declined to only 700. And we're economically suffering. We can barely afford to keep our ambulance going and stuff like that. And I say, this trail, we could kind of promote this trail, and that would bring in some tourism dollars to us. And that could be a big help. So why don't we start doing that? So I started doing this little trail project, and I did this thing where I crawled up and Christmas, and I put holiday lights all on this trestle that enters our town that's been closed off, and it has steel walls in front of it. And it was illegal for me to crawl up there, but I put all these lights on, and it caught popular imagination. And then I was like, great, now we're going to form this trail group. We're going to encourage a cross state bike race, and we're really going to help our town this way. And I've been doing this for a couple months, and I'm sitting at my desk, and I'm like, why am I doing this? I'm retired. I could be gardening. This is what I used to do for a job, but now I'm not getting paid. I'm actually spending money to do this. It's insane. What am I doing? So I see, forget this. I'm going to quit. And then all of a sudden, and this is the only time it's ever happened to me in my life, I heard this voice, this loud, angry, somewhat angry voice, and all it said was, "You don't wait to do God's work," just like that. And I was just shocked, and I remember just looking all around, and I couldn't believe I heard that, and I felt a sensation of fear and anxiety, and that I needed to get to work. So I formed this trail group, and I started promoting the use of the trail. And then serendipitously, or not serendipitous, coincidentally, oddly enough, at that same moment, there were these corrupt politicians, this
Wow.
corrupt state senator and state representative, who behind closed doors, without any public announcement, closed the 185 miles of the trail and gave it to adjacent landowners at no cost to them, even though it was a state park that our state had paid $3 million for. But this was Eastern Washington, and the farmers who had the land adjacent to this trail didn't like it. They didn't want hippies riding bicycles in their backyard. So these guys closed it with and that was it. It was closed. But there was a little typo
Huh.
in their legislation, and it was part of it's called a budget agreement amendment. So it never even got a vote. It was part of a whole big package at the Washington State Legislature. But anyway, this typo, and I think this is God's work, only closed the trail from part point A to point A instead of point B.
B.
They made a typo. So instead of closing 185 miles, 6,000 public acres of land, it was still open. And then I began this because God scared the hell out of me, a 3-year public education campaign where we lobby the legislature and Senate. And now that trail is open and it's been funded about like $60 million. It's improved. There's people using it every day. There's Boy Scouts and mothers and fathers walking and having a beautiful outdoor experience on what is a ribbon of nature through our state. And I don't think that would have happened unless God has a good sense of humor and spoke to me.
But you see, the beautiful thing about your story, and this is where I want to say it to you and for everybody. You did what he wants you to do, and he did the rest. Don't sweat the small stuff in
Right.
life.
Right.
This is this little small bump. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna go to an enemy territory.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're not in control.
Yeah. No.
Relax,
No.
do good, love your neighbor. Do
Yes.
what he asks you to do, even if it's he said to you that in a big voice, or in my case in a small voice.
Yeah.
Just as Nike said, just do it.
So before we close, what's the name of your nonprofit and do you have a web page?
Yes, we do. It's called Shuvu,
Uh-huh.
SHUVU.TV. And
Uh-huh.
what Shuvu means is come back. And
Uh-huh.
what we do is we provide education on the topic like anti-Semitism and things like that all over the world.
Yeah.
Scholarship based.
Yeah.
Africa, Asia,
Oh.
Europe.
Yeah.
And actually, we also want to say to everybody, if you're interested, just come being educated.
Oh
We
yeah.
still provide scholarship. Would love
Oh,
to-
wonderful.
to do it for everybody. So,
Yes.
excited. Thank you
Good.
so much.
Isaac, thank you so much for being on our show. And if you at home, if you've ever been you're the winner, by the way, on today's episode. I heard God, but he got you into a country undercover and avoided arrest. So if you've had a fascinating story about spreading goodwill and peace and harmony and having to go through quite a bit of danger to do it, we love to hear from you. So please email us at the oneupper.show@gmail.com or visit our webpage, theoneuppershow.com. You can listen to us wherever you hear your podcast. And if you send us your story, you can send us a video, an audio, or even just type it up and we'll read it on the air. So until we meet again, keep those good stories coming. And thanks, Isaac.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
it's really, really, I'm really glad I met you, sir.
Thank you,
I really am.
likewise.
Let's get you a t-shirt.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
The One Upper Show is brought to you by Trailblazing Canvassers and the Burning Sage Productions.